go to outdoors, go to school, and see what's happening. Most of the time when the child has to go outdoors, he is in the phone. When he has to engage with children, he engages through phone. When he has to sleep, he is in the phone. That is the problem. The net, the digital natives, we call them, children born after the invention of net, are different. Their brains are different. Their mind is different. In fact, series of books are coming now. The change in brain and mind to these digital natives. We are digital immigrants. It came to us later on. And that's why we have a conflict. The digital children are entirely different. Their behavior is different. I think, sir, you talk how many problems you see in children due to net. I wouldn't call it misuse, overuse. What the problems they get, they are entirely different. I think that makes your point. Children using net.
I think we have not seen this beautiful poster here. It says digital addiction, an invisible pandemic. When we talk about any viral illnesses, everybody is on toes. Be the human metapneumovirus, Naveed is on his toes. The government is there, everybody is there. But this invisible pandemic, which is consuming our population, is huge. There is no doubt about usage of internet or digital devices so far as our needs are there. That's up to our needs. But human beings can control their feelings, can control their limits. So 0 to 18 years of age, that's the most vulnerable period of our lives. We see children in even 2 months, 4 months, 6 months who just concentrate on their phones. So the main malice that we are seeing now with this phone, the positive things are there, is that their minds are directly affected. They have started losing their eye-to-eye contact. Their parents are on two sides and the phone is just in front of them. They think that their parents are all like two electric poles and the parents are now their phones. This is affecting their psyche. We see a lot of children now, what we call as attention deficit hyperactivity disorders. We see a lot of them. We see hyperactivity in these children. We see these children tossing their heads. And even if there is a gathering, we hardly see these children interact with them. So that is one, they have lost their social contact, is already gone. That is one aspect of it. Second is the physical. I don't see any organ of the body which is not affected. Every organ of the body is affected with this. Now, what would be the interventions? How do we intervene in such a situation? The use is there, we cannot take it out from our lives. As Nasir said, it's absolutely right. But one is use and other is overuse and misuse. That is where we have to draw the lines. Now, when children come and their parents come, their parents always start abusing their children in front. Say that, see, he's using the phone and please tell him something. Now, how can we correct this? The correction here would be to have parental de-addiction rather than the children being affected. As Zafar Saab rightly said, that what I do, I smoke in front of my child and then they tell him don't smoke. How is it possible? So family interventions are there which need to be done. Professor Sushil Saab rightly said about a very important point, like social gatherings. When a baby is born, there is a social milieu. So that is what we have to bring back. We cannot be defeatists that AI is ruling our lives, Chat GPT is ruling our lives, and then we just take the corner. If you want your progeny to grow, to be human beings, then we have to have interventions. Cognitive-based interventions are very important. Develop social milieu. That social milieu still exists here. That means at least talk to have a session, come together, let the parents come together, talk, take their phones off, and intervene, talking with each other. That is one way of opening the communications. We fortunately have aunts, we have our own grandmothers, other people all around us. So use that time, cut that time, and let us interact with each other. Let's talk with each other. Hardly in these situations we hardly talk with each other. So family-based interventions can help in removing some of these malices. Second is in schools. Now in schools, we have become internet learners. COVID-19 has completely changed our lives. So we can bring it back because this learning which you are seeing, children seeing these phones and then going on with these videos like Cocomelon and other things, their parents think that they have become great learners, but it is a passive way of learning which hardly goes in the mind for a few days, months, and then you lose it. So one is family-based interventions which we can socialize more, meet more, talk more. Even in marriage parties, you will see that majority of people are just stuck to the phones, hardly talking to each other. So that is one. Second is cognitive behavior. That is another thing which we can introduce. Third is killing poison with poison. That means through internet learning, through internet websites, we can just maybe cause a reversal of this. This would be another way of tackling the situation. And then the administration, the government, we have always this cybersecurity and other things. Why can't we use it for just filtering the things, filtering the data, or filtering those malices which have just affected our minds? Then there is another internet gaming disorder, which is now a term used by American Psychiatric Society, where people are stuck to these games. Is it necessary? It's not necessary. So how do we I think schools are institutions where we can introduce it, where there can be strict instructions for that. So that is the part where we can, schools can play a very important role. We talk about drug addiction. I think it is much more than that. So we have to tackle this addiction as we are tackling the drug addiction. So I think interventions are there. We have to ponder over it, we have to think over it and find solutions. Solutions will always be there to the man-made problems which we have created ourselves. So let us use this for our knowledge, not for purposes. And parental addiction can be controlled rather than addiction by children. Thank you.
I think in order to have a structured conversation and outcome of this deliberation, which is very important from the purpose, the object of our being together here, let's clear the deck first, basics. I think we all agree this internet has come to stay. There is nobody suggesting that we should get rid of it. Even if somebody suggests that, it is impossible to get rid of it. This is what I understand. Is that the correct conclusion? Right? Now, second thing is use of this internet. And when we're using the word use, of course the devices are there to help you to use it. Now, use in generally in the population, irrespective of the age, since the child is birth until he dies, use of it. For that, you find any problem in that? One problem which the doctors point out is in the physical sense. The pains, the eyesights, the other things, use of spectacles at a very young age, so on and so forth. That is something the immediate cause of excessively using these devices or using large screen time. We do all understand that, and doctors are saying so. Now the third part of it is that, does it affect the mind of the child in this sense? So when I'm saying mind of the child, I don't mean in the sense of acquiring more knowledge and information which is available and which is good for him. I'm talking in terms of the values which our society has. Does it expose and make him vulnerable to such kind of values which are not generally acceptable to the society in which our children live? So therefore we are talking of use of this phone in that context as well. Third thing is that age groups. Now whether elders should also use it or not, they are grown-ups, they are matured enough, or they are not informed at all, it's negative use. So they also use it in a very casual manner. If they have nothing else to do, they will use it. Their communication with their own better half perhaps has gone down. Their own communication with relations have gone down. Perhaps they don't know what to communicate anymore. So therefore they spend most of the time in using these devices. They are at pleasure. There is nothing against speaking to them. You know, it is just like a dog. Why do people love dogs? If you do anything to a dog, he's still loyal to you. So a lot of people love that. But if you treat another human being the same way, he's bound to react. There is bound to be a scuffle and fight. So some people psychologically use the dogs because they are so faithful to you, even if you kick them out, he will come back. Anyway, so you have to see this among elders as well. Our society is slightly growing up society as well. So the second thing which I would like to have your views on this, everything said and done. What is it that needs to be done is extremely important. If you agree, it is adverse consequences. We'd like to have your views on that A, B, C in a concrete form, that this needs to be done, this which is practicable, implementable, and which can be distributed among the people. Please do not do this. The experts have said so. Reduce your own, elders, reduce your own screen time. Children in particular, reduce the time. Let the children play outside. Don't let them sit and develop sedentary habit on a chair or in your bed and then watch this damn thing for maybe 24 hours. How it affects the sleep, the quality of the sleep goes down. Many other things happen. These doctors, of course, have been telling us about this. It's negative impact on the mind. So we'd like to have your views on how best you talk of control. Please also go a step further. How to control it? Either it is self-restraint, self-discipline. If you say that, we need to educate each and every parent in Jammu and Kashmir to tell him, please don't use it in a manner in which you are using it at all. Second thing, is there any solution other than that? By only appealing to the senses of the parents. Do you think the governments can do that? Do you think you can do that as a civil society? Or do you think alternatives need to be provided to the children where they can go out and play so that they don't spend much of their time watching this damn thing? They may play outside and go out for a walk or have a chat, real chat, not this chat. Then also it is impact on education. As I told you the other day also, they will forget writing letters to each other. With the kind of language they use now on these chats and on these systems, they're losing their language as well. I said the other day, there will be no letters of Nehru to Mrs. Gandhi, a published document. There will be nothing like that. And I also said that there will be no Iqbals and Ghalibs anymore in our society with this kind having come up. Though there is enormous information available. But we don't use it. There is no depth, it is superficiality. There is no depth coming up in this. So you think these are matters of concern and they are not relevant anymore for us. Let there be no Ghalibs, let there be no Iqbal. What happens to the world? The world will still survive. Let there not be great philosopher. The world will still survive. Either that is the view, or second is no, the life has a meaning. The life has a depth. the life, you have to give purpose to the life.